instead of like is this who God wants us to be? And that guy is the reason why that church closed. Now, granted, a lot of our sound stuff came from that church. But my parents said that they had said no on that pastor. Other people as well. I mean, they drove. The person drove the church to. I mean, when they were preparing to close or having the meeting about closing it, only 3 people showed up. And it used to run like a couple hundred or 2 services. Wow. And there's just a fear of what's next.
Sometimes we have to just trust Scripture, biblical principles, trust leadership. Okay, if you do the right thing, good things happen. But if you ignore that, that's foolishness. The opposite.
Right, meaning lining up with the Scripture.
Yeah, lining up with the Scripture is
clarifying.
wisdom, because and even if it's something that's scary, or do we have the courage to just to be obedient when it would be easier to give in to fear, compromise, whatever? Wisdom is being able to hold to what you know is right and true.
Regardless of the circumstances.
Regardless, even if it looks like it's going to end poorly, if the way to guarantee it's going to end poorly is to ignore it, do the opposite, because it will not end well if you ignore what God has said.
I think there's also a collective wisdom, and I don't mean just majority rules, because people can be wrong and the majority can be wrong. But wise counsel, getting it from mature Christians as well as the word. I think of Quakers, and when they had to make a decision, it was a spiritual thing. They would just sit in silence and listen until there was a consensus where this is what the Lord said to me. Yep, he said to me. And so it's a collective wisdom, not just up to one person. They could be having a bad day, or maybe they haven't been in the Word or haven't been listening to the Spirit. And so the community of faith should offer us some guidelines so that we stay within the parameters of wisdom. I mean, it's when you're on your own, it's easy to be either led by emotions or the spur of the moment kind of thing. But I think especially maturity among leadership and trusted counsels is a good thing.
Yeah, that was my first.
That's what it says in Proverbs.
It does.
my first interaction with that was this aspect of like call to ministry, and it was like, hey, there's like you might be wrestling and seeking it out, and like it might show you, and it also helps too if there's other people who have seen that in you, and be able to affirm that. And I was like, oh, okay, and like I had some of those people, and I was like, okay, Lord, this might be something you're wanting to do, and
sometimes you just need to process it and have people listen.
Yeah, so it's that helpfulness of even with other things like trusted people to go like, okay, what are you seeing? Am I missing anything? Like, where am I wrong?
Oh, I got blind spots. Yeah.
That's why there's so many different groups, or so many different groups, whether it be AA or any of these other different groups, because there's so much wisdom from people that been there, done that.
Importance of church, right? Yeah. Like you can say like, oh, like church is in here, but it's like, well, if you don't have other people who are able to speak into and see different things from a different perspective, like you're missing out on a lot of wisdom.
Like Pastor Dave, just going, just from one church to the next, and just what's the next step for what I got going on here? Just, there's so many different ways that can be helpful.
So, what's the biggest impediment to
living in wisdom?
Oh, no.
Me?
Pride.
I know what
Yeah,
pride. Like the sign at Pearson. I want to hire a 17-year-old because they know it all.
Right.
Yep,
Pride.
pride, according to James, it's pride.
Well, that's why it says it must be done in humility that comes from wisdom.
There's a certain submission to God's authority, God's word, to counsel, multitude of counsels, there's
Yep.
wisdom. But if you won't listen, probably are gonna miss the boat on wisdom.
You think of how many church leaders have fallen out of pride,
Oh,
where they
yeah.
started in a good spot.
Yeah.
Where
Or
said,
maybe
like,
they lacked accountability.
yeah, like
And
they
so
were-
instead of listening to wise counsel from others, they're thinking, I know it all, or
yeah,
I don't need anybody else.
David Bathsheba, like when things went out to war, never mind, he's back at the palace with all the people who aren't gonna say anything to him.
Right, right.
Or
Yeah, that's especially in leadership, if you're in a position where you don't have Nathans, you don't have anybody who has the courage to speak truth to you, you're in a bad spot.
and I mean, just for anybody.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially leaders is important. But
The
yeah, if we don't have
consequences of
we don't have
leaders.
someone who can speak into our lives in such a way, then a lot less chance of wisdom and growth.
So how good are we at doing that?
I think we all need to do
I
better.
think it's like the last resort for most people. Are like, maybe I did everything I can do.
Yeah.
And that,
Gonna
You
do it
know, I
my
really
way
think-
first.
yeah, I know it's flesh, but we said last week, it's a West Michigan cultural thing too.
Hmm.
Strong, independent.
Yeah, I don't need anybody else.
And you're not supposed to.
You're not
No,
You're
supposed
supposed to.
to.
That's
Yeah,
weak-
yeah,
that's
yeah,
weakness.
that's a weakness.
It's
Yeah.
weakness.
Don't be a burden to anybody. Yeah. So it's kind of.
I'll say though, like there's a network I'm a part of with people I went to school with, they're in ministry, and a group of like 5 of us, no, 6 of us, were like, hey, let's do like an accountability group instead of just partners, for the sake of like, hey, like the guy who like headed it up, he's like, you guys are gonna be the benefactors of something that's mainly for me, but it's also for all of us. But he's like this aspect of like, we're doing well, but like we need things in place for in case something goes bad. And like that guy had something where it was like, man, super weighty ministry thing, and he was like, man, I was just looking forward to Thursday, looking forward to talking to you guys about this. And because otherwise, like it just would have been like, oh, I'm on an island, like no one is helping me, like just struggling with this, and having that place where it's like, yep, we're just gonna leave nothing, no stone unturned, check our hearts here. It was kind of some of the old Wesleyan stuff of the band groups of like, what sins have you committed? What things have you been truthful in answering this kind of stuff? But just our hearts are in the right spot.
Wounds, I think everybody has their own, I mean, I don't know, I mean, you could live it, pride, whatever, there's lots of, but I can think of individuals that are like specific things that would hold them back from wisdom or seeking knowledge from others or guidance or counsel. I think it's like usually a deep wound that prevents people from doing it.
Like look,
Fear.
you can be almost like look down on you think because you're asking for.
Like
Wisdom.
shame, yeah. that's a big
You don't
one.
know that? No, I don't know everything.
Shame and not being able to trust people.
Yeah.
Finding people you can trust is
Yeah, I heard from a business person once in Amway. He said, "You find somebody that is, has got integrity and wisdom, and is one of those hang on to them for dear life." That's
They're
it's
rare.
Yes.
Right.
I'm kind of curious. I mean, we've got it listed as a spiritual gift, but so how does this gift play itself in the church?
Guidance to those who not having wisdom.
I just need a little more.
I think it's twofold. I think, that's why we tried to start the discipleship groups or program or whatever we
Mentor.
wanted to call it, yeah. It's having wise, or at least wiser than you, people available, but it's also receiving that. We, again, working off my wife's comment, I can't tell you how many times I've said, hey, instead of struggling with this, give me a call, or talk to Ron or Ken or, one of the older guys in the church, and they don't. And so I think it's a two-way street. And how we break down those barriers, I don't know, because we had half a dozen people that were, or well, better, probably close to 10, who were ready and no takers.
I don't need
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I just don't have
As they're
time.
crashing
I don't have
in.
Time. I don't have time.
My dad didn't do it, my grandpa didn't do it, so.
If Satan can keep us secluded, that's a big thing with the technology movement, really since I've been a kid. If Satan can keep us secluded, we're lost, it's over. As long as he can keep us alone, he's winning. So if you're not in community or seeking wisdom or seeking guidance or seeking relationships and community, we're done. No hope for that. I think there is hope, obviously. But I mean, if that's what he's trying, as long as he can keep people secluded, as long as he can keep people in their phones and in front of screens and.
I'm doing all right. Well, how about you just, get with a group of people and your life can be so much better.
Yeah,
And easier. Why struggle?
yeah.
Some of it too is the lack of wisdom to those who tend to be more wise see how far they are from how good the Lord is. I have so much I need to work on. Where it's usually people who are like, I'm fine. It's like, are you? Because I can count on this. These things, how are they doing?
Then it can be too
So it's
smart.
sometimes it's gonna lack no self-awareness.
Yeah.
Where am I struggling? Where do I need more? Where am I not seeing the fruits of the Spirit in my life? Or where do I need to see more of that? How do I even do that?
they're not even seeing it. They don't know what they don't know.
You're in other people.
Not
You're
asking
alone.
for
You're
it.
only
Yeah.
reflection of yourself.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty
You're doing
good.
pretty great. Yeah.
My neighbor, he doesn't know the Lord. I'm struggling over there.
That guy over there. Terrible.
And it goes to the next level, Ron, where when you
Don't know your
try to speak into their lives, then they get outright angry.
Never.
To tell you what to do.
Never.
If I may, you may not.
Okay, we'll let you go on your
Don't
stupid
tell me
path.
what to do.
Yeah.
Crash and burn,
Watch it.
pick up the pieces later.
So how do you speak into someone's life with wisdom from the Lord without just giving advice or telling them what to do?
Make it sound like it's their idea somehow. Then they're good.
Well, trained coaches know how to ask the right questions.
Yes.
So it's not directives as much as asking probing questions but you have to want
Yes.
Yeah, the coaching.
They're
to,
teachable.
be better and to do better or whatever. You have to want that improvement. Otherwise, you're not interested in the question.
We had
The advice.
in one of our conference things, this lady set it up really well. She did a dissertation on it, but it was about like the difference between coaching and mentoring, and whereas usually we think of coaches like they're telling you what to do, and really coaching is that more like, so what do you think you need? And they would even ask sometimes that question if someone was struggling, like, do you want me? Is it okay if I put on the mentor hat for a second and like maybe give some like specific counsel to it? Like, all right, I'm gonna put the coaching hat back on. Or sometimes they ask like, do you want me to coach you or do you want me to mentor you? Like, I want you to coach me. Oh gosh, dang. And keep going, but that was a helpful understanding of like, okay, am I coaching? Am I mentoring? Am I just a friend right now? Like, just letting you talk kind of thing. So.
Just to go off from what Ron said about the question, we read a little book, Questions Are the Answer, and it was really good. And it was like mid 2000, I don't know. And it was like a little book, but it was pretty powerful, just wording stuff. And it sounded better if you can say it this way, you can say it that way. So
Most counseling is that.
Yeah.
It sounds like this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, you know, some of the gift of wisdom has a better than normal ability to anticipate future consequences. They can see where a path is going, where somebody without wisdom, they're just flying blind. They
Don't
can't,
see the
they have no
consequences.
idea where they're going and where it's going to be.
Which is again that importance of younger folk being older folk who are displaying wisdom. Because that seems a podcast now the question on some of these young men of like, I don't even know if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Is this the right thing? Like, I don't even know if I want to continue on this path that I'm on right
Where is
now.
this path going?
Yeah, and like, is this the right? Is this the right? And just kind of that lostness of like, I think it is, but like, it's hard to know.
do you think people would, just kind of like, I think they know what they're doing? Like, they'd assume that some people are like, well, I don't even bother, mentoring them or mentioning that. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean? Some people might just like, well, I should know that stuff. That's, maybe that generation or something. They just haven't got a clue on how they're brought up. So
Yeah, there's assumed like, oh, this is already known, and then you meet them. Well, I don't think they know that. I don't think they understand.
I thought one of the interesting things you find from Proverbs too is it takes wisdom not to continuously answer a fool. You know, when to be quiet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Pearls before swine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's just that the beautiful combination we see, the gift of knowledge that we see, wisdom and discernment all together.
Never had that until I talked to Brad. Upstairs. I figured that out in her.
I think even discerning like discernment and wisdom, like asking the right questions, and even understanding why certain questions are being asked. I think of Jesus really like, where did you come from? He's like, you're not asking because like you really want to know. You just want more food. Like,
Read
if you actually
between the
knew,
lines.
Yeah.
he could see through like what's the intent.
Right.
Of their
That's true.
hearts.
The motivation. Yeah.
Yeah, we've mentioned this in this setting before, but one of the biggest struggles that we've got is on staff is people generally, well, I've never experienced real life change until somebody's hit rock bottom,
Yes.
and there's no other alternative.
And everybody's rock bottom is different.
And everybody, some people can take
They hit many
a
rock bottoms.
lot
take a lot of abuse.
Pain threshold is high.
Yeah, right.
And knowing when to, again, not answer the fool. Is a trick too, because, you can not answer the fool and say, okay, you really don't want to get better. And then especially in a small town like Howard City, they go up and down the street and say what a crappy church you are because you're not helping.
Enabling.
Yeah. And so there, stuff that we would have never thought about in Grand Rapids, we have to think about in Howard City.
Well, it's the times now. It's weird.
You're saying it's not just Howard.
We were just told yesterday, her friend that works at Brown University,
Yeah.
a prestigious college. She went to Portland, and she was told not to say "you guys" to any group because it was a no-no. And I was like, really?
You people.
Or y'all.
Y'all.
It might offend somebody. You
this is
guys,
off-
the guy.
Off topic, but Portland related. There's a comedian who was saying from Australia, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw one of those signs that said everyone's welcome here, and I knew as a white straight male I was not welcome here."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, got him.
Yes.
Oh dear, that's sadly true. Oh dear.
Well, as I recommended to the men's group, if one wishes to get wiser, there are 31 proverbs which line up with a lot of months. And
Yes,
if you
read
read
'em.
one chapter a month for a year, you will have went through Proverbs 12 times. You'll have to adjust in there, but and at the end of the year, you will be wiser.
Oh, I
He'll be a wise guy.
Wise
Yeah.
guy, yeah,
Wise
that's right.
Unless
that's
you
right.
look in the
Yeah.
mirror and walk away.
That's right. Yeah.
That's true.
Good old James. Okay, well, we got through one. It's all Mary's fault.
Could have easily at any point tied in knowledge.
Ah, that's different.
Knowledge.